President Goodluck Jonathan inherited a power sector which had been troubled by many years of neglect, inefficiency, and erratic power supply. It was a sector in dire straits. For a long time, the stalled expansion of the nation's grid capacity, combined with the high cost of running diesel and petrol generating sets, had crippled the growth of the nation's productive and commercial industries and stifled the creation of jobs which were urgently needed in a country with a large and rapidly growing population. At this point, total output lagged well behind what the total requirement was. Total peak power generation was less than 2,000 megawatts, while total requirement stood at 18.1 terawatts hour. Power stations like the Egbin Thermal Station, Jeba Hydropower Station, Kainji Hydropower Station, and others of the early generation power stations in Nigeria had aged and were in decay. The nation's transmission infrastructure was no better. It was aged and weak, leading to a lot of power loss in transmission. The national grid had limited reach, with limited extension to most of Nigerian rural areas. This left a majority of Nigerians who live in the rural areas without access to electricity. Even worse, the NIPP projects that had been initiated as part of solutions to the nation's power problem were moribund at this point, having gulped hundreds of millions of dollars. The problem was huge, and the need in terms of requirement to fix the rot staggering. It required huge financial resources and strong political will. President Goodluck Jonathan recognized immediately that irregular electricity supply was a serious impediment to individuals, institutions, and businesses of any scale in the country. He therefore wasted no time and spared no expense in pushing forward reforms in the power sector, with the ultimate goal of providing access to affordable and reliable electricity supply for Nigerians. Its key objective being to stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and alleviate poverty. The power sector reform he initiated was based on two main pillars. 1. Transition government ownership, management of electricity assets to a private sector-driven Nigerian electricity supply industry. 2. Grow the availability, supply, and reliability of electricity in Nigeria. In August 2010, President Goodluck Jonathan launched the roadmap for the power sector reform. The roadmap was to ensure the privatization of power generation and distribution and the construction of a new transmission network expected to hugely reduce infrastructure challenges. To date, the Power Holding Company of Nigeria's successor companies in generation and distribution have been fully privatized. These power assets were handed over to the new owners at a ceremony by the President on the 2nd of November 2013. The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has been contracted out, and the government has restarted stalled multi-billion-dollar National Integrated Power Projects, NIPPs, established and empowered Nigeria Electricity Liability Management Company, NELMCO, to take over legacy assets of PHCN, strengthened Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to guarantee a robust regulated electricity market, established and operationalized Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trader, NBET, as a credit-worthy off-taker, obtained partial risk guarantee (PRG) support from World Bank for NBET's power purchase agreements (PPAs), signed hosts of equity investment memorandum of understanding (MOUs). As a result, huge strides have been recorded in the power sector across Nigeria. As at the inception of the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, the following power stations and plants were connected to the national grid. They include Kainji, Jeba, Shiroro, Olorunshogo, Egbin, Sapele, FGN, Delta, Afam 1-4, Afam 6 Shell, Okpai, Omoko Omotosho, Geregu, AES, Ibom Power. Today, there are over 10 new national independent power plants that are at various stages of being added to the national grid. These include Alauji to 1,131 megawatts, Sapele 2, 508 megawatts, Calabar 634 megawatts, Egbema 381 megawatts, Baraing 254 megawatts, Geregu 2, 506 megawatts, Olorunshogo 2, 754 megawatts, Omoku 2, 265 megawatts, Omotosho 2, 513 megawatts, Iovo 508 megawatts. Collectively, these are expected to add over 4,700 megawatts of electricity to the national grid. Already, Geregu 2 and Omotosho 2 have been completed and commissioned. Also, extensive rehabilitation works have been carried out on aged power stations. These include Kayenji and Jeba hydropower stations, as well as the Egbin thermal power station. These rehabilitation works have led to improved reliability, sustainability, and increased output from these power stations. Due to the energy demand of the Nigerian people, the government is undertaking the construction of new dams and power stations to shore up power generation in the country. These include large hydropower projects in Zungeru, 700 megawatt power project, Gurara, 140 megawatt power project, Mambila, 3050 megawatt power project, Kaduna Power Plant, 215 megawatt power project, Kashimbila, 40 megawatt power project. There are also the following small and medium scale hydropower projects: Oyon, Ogun State, 10 megawatts, Southwest Zone; Ikere Gorge, Oyo State, 6 megawatts, Southwest Zone; Bakolori, Zamfara State, 3 megawatts, Northwest Zone; Chalawa, Kano State, 8 megawatts, Northwest Zone; Tiga, Kano State, 10 megawatts, Northwest Zone; Owena, Ondo State, 0.45 megawatts, Southwest Zone; Kampe, Kogi State, 3 megawatts, North Central Zone. Collectively, these projects are expected to add over 4,100 megawatts to the national grid. As a result, power generation in the North Central has increased by almost 200%. The Egbin Power Station, which was neglected for years, has now been rehabilitated. This has greatly increased power generation capacity. Households experiencing frequent blackouts has gone from 43% to 18% in the Northwest. The government is also aggressively working on broadening and diversifying the energy mix. To this end, it is developing alternative sources of energy generation, spanning solar, wind, and biomass. A testament of this energy diversification is birth of Operation Light Up Nigeria. This project was commissioned on January the 13th, 2014 by President Goodluck Jonathan in Durumi, Shape, and Wuru. These projects have had great reviews in the public. The President has instructed that each of the 36 states of the Federation should have 3 of these similar projects. Coal is another way in which the government is looking at boosting power generation in the country. To date, action plan for the actualization of coal-fired power plant has been developed by the Coal to Power Committee. The committee has so far recorded modest achievement in facilitating investment in coal-fired power plant by Zuma Energy Limited and Pacific HTG Limited. African Development Bank is providing credit support to NBET in the form of partial risk guarantee for coal-based IPPs. The Federal Ministry of Power, in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, is currently developing bankable project documents for the purpose of facilitating investment in coal to power. The coal blocks under consideration are Amansiodo, Onyema, Okpara, Inyi, Obocho, Makurdi, Gombe. A huge milestone in the participation of the private sector in power generation was recorded in October 2014 with the groundbreaking of Azura Edo Independent Power Project. The country's first fully financed private sector power plant by President Goodluck Jonathan. The Azura Power Project is a 450 megawatt open cycle gas turbine power plant by Azura Power near Benin City in Edo State. For a long time, the price regime which governed the supply gas to power was problematic for gas suppliers. This led to their reluctance to invest in the development of additional gas resources to meet the growing needs for power generation, resulting, in turn, in an increasing insufficiency in the quality of gas available to power plants. Through the unprecedented collaboration between the Ministers of Power and Petroleum Resources, this challenge has now been addressed head-on, with increase in the price of gas to power from $1.50 per MMBTU to $2.50 per MMBTU, with an additional maximum of 80 cents per MMBTU for gas transportation. By this measure, the bottlenecks in the negotiation of new GSAs has been removed, and increasingly, more gas will become available to power as new gas development projects are completed. As a result of these interventions, gas supply to power is expected to double in 2015 and will continue to increase to match demand in the coming years. Today, while Nigeria's gas revolution is awaited to help increase power generation, vandalization of gas pipelines has led to a drop in the supply of electricity. In 2014, the country lost up to 1,000 megawatts per day to gas pipelines vandalization. Transmission was a bottleneck when the president came into office, but due to his dogged approach, TCN has made huge strides. The Transmission Company of Nigeria has been able to complete several projects, and a lot more are ongoing to improve the wheeling capacity of the transmission network nationwide. Officially, the following power projects were commissioned: 2x40 MVA 132 33 kilovolt transmission substation, Tambuwara, Kano State. 150 MVA 330 132 33 kilovolt transmission substation, Kumboso, Kano State. 1x30 40 MVA 132 33 kilovolt transmission substation, Kwanar Dongora, Kano State. 2x150 MVA 330 132 33 kilovolt transmission substation, Adiabo, Calabar Cross River State. Completed power projects ready for commissioning: 150 MVA 330 33 kilovolt transformer, 33,075 MVAR shunt reactor, Birnin Kebbi, Kebbi State. 2x60 MVA 132 33 kilovolt transmission substation, Ikeja West, Ayobo, Lagos State. Amukpe Sapele 2x30 40 MVA 132 kilovolt transmission substation, Taraba. Jalingo 2x30 40 MVA 132 kilovolt transmission substation, Taraba State. Towards ensuring success in transmission, currently there are diverse supports from bilateral partners in form of loans such as follows: World Bank $700 million, JICA $200 million, AFD Bank $370 million, NIPP additions $1.65 million, Exim China $500 million, contractor finance turnkey projects $1 billion. The government has intervened to execute power projects in a number of states facing significant challenges in power supply. The projects include the following transmission line and substation projects: improving upgrading of Yenagoa substation from 30 MVA to 90 MVA, power supply to Federal University Otueke and Federal Polytechnic, installation of a 33 kilovolt switchgear in Kolo Creek Power Plant, 23-kilometer distribution line substation project at Uromi, Edo State. A significant component to the realization and sustenance of all the developments in the power sector is human capital. Government realizes this and is undertaking the following activities aimed at training and developing the requisite manpower for the sector. It has restructured NAPTIN, originally created to consolidate the stranded training centers of the former PHCN into a world-class training institute. Added more technical departments in line with the realization of the transformation agenda of the administration. Commenced the development of a fully equipped communication laboratory center at NAPTIN's Regional Training Center at Oji, Enugu State. Graduated 243 engineers in November 2013 and admitted 330 for the 2013-2014 academic year through its National Graduate Skills Development Program. Trained 70 engineers in solar, wind, hybrid renewable energy options at the Regional Training Center in Kainji. Collaborated with development partners such as GICA, EU, etc. to guarantee quality manpower in the sector. Fortified electrical engineering laboratory at the Kainji Training Center with the new facilities for teaching SCADA and smart grid technologies. Initiated new structured training programs in collaboration with the National Open University of Nigeria, NOUN, University of Lagos and Enugu State University of Technology, ESUT. Commenced the training of 7,400 personnel under the National Power Sector Apprenticeship Scheme, NAPSAS. It was launched on the 18th of November 2014 by Mr. President. Initiated a collaboration with Philips Lighting of Netherlands to establish a Center of Excellence in REEE research at Enugu State University of Technology, ESUT, to study the effect of lightings on living tissues and the socio-economic impact of access to electricity by means of solar lighting. For most, the pace of developments may not be as fast as they would want. Truth is, some of these things take time and cannot be rushed. Amongst others, it is expected that all of these activities will come together incrementally, and generation and supply of electricity is expected to grow as much as 20 gigawatts between now and 2020. This is projected to be achieved with a diversified energy mix, with the thermal energy providing 69%, hydro 17%, coal 10%, and renewable energy sources providing 4%. Already, current capacity stands at 10,000 megawatts, of which only 4,400 megawatts is being distributed due to lack of gas, disruption by gas pipelines vandalization, and insufficient transmission networks. To ensure sustenance and continued growth in the sector, the government has the following additional activities planned or already in progress. A national load demand study in progress aimed at determining projected industrial clusters and concentration, population growth pattern, demography and urbanization. This will serve as a tool for integrated resource planning, especially in procuring new power with the associated transmission and distribution requirements. Others include strengthen the transmission sector, address legal and policy constraints militating against transmission networks, determining the transmission privatization vehicle, attract more private sector capital, conduct full evacuation studies, strengthen NACOP to deliver on its mandate, drive the rural electrification programs in conjunction with the state governments and the private sector, renewed policy thrust for coal to power and bankable feasibility studies to drive investments in coal-fired power plants. Intensified drive for foreign direct investment by developing attractive business models and creating an enabling environment. Strengthen the collaboration with other line ministries, departments and agencies on investment in gas infrastructure to address the gas supply for gas to power. Renew push to form a comprehensive policy for the protection of critical power assets infrastructure, renewable energy and energy efficiency policy. Under the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, the power sector has been a beehive of activities. Clearly, the worst part is behind us, and as more and more projects and initiatives come on stream, we are beginning to see the improvements in the generation and supply of electricity. For most, The pace of developments may not be as fast as they would want. Truth is, some of these things take time and cannot be rushed. Amongst others, the manufacture of parts and components as well as shipping and installation take time. It is expected that all of these activities will come together incrementally, and generation and supply of electricity is expected to grow to as much as 20 gigawatts between now and 2020. Under the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, the power sector has been a beehive of activities. Clearly, the worst part is behind us, and as more and more projects and initiatives come on stream, we are beginning to see the improvements in the generation and supply of electricity. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has demonstrated strong political will and pursued with vigor the vision of providing adequate electricity to all Nigerians. The improvements we are witnessing will only continue to grow, and soon the days of poor epileptic power supply will be a thing of the past.